Welcome back to the second half of Bugworks episode. We're speaking with Dr. Anand Kumar, CEO of Bugworks, about building a breakthrough biotech startup addressing antimicrobial resistance. In the first half, we talked about Anand's personal journey and the founding story of Bugworks and its development over the years. Now we'd like to shift gears and discuss the relationship with UTEC and the future of Bugworks. So I'd like to start asking questions to Kiran first. When did you meet Bugworks, and how did the relationship between UTEC and Bugworks begin?
Yeah, it's a long time back, right? 2017. I was not even in UTEC then. I only
Oh,
joined
wow.
UTEC in January 2018. So I met Bugworks in 2017, October or November, I believe. In this Carnegie Endowment had organized some kind of a pitch for. I was working in Deloitte Japan Startup Innovation Division then. And they had organized that pitch, and there were about 5 or 10 companies, Indian companies, pitching to global audience. I was there as well, and Anand came to pitch there. I was very impressed that, oh, such kind of a company can come from. I knew that that would come from a Boston or a Bay Area or something.
Was
I
that
was
pitch was that pitch in India or Japan or
It was in Bangalore. It was in
in Bangalore?
India.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was in India, and 2017. And then, Anand, after the pitch, I congratulated Anand, and I told him there is nothing much I can do to help you now. But after I joined you, I'm joining this fund called UTEC, and we had just invested or about to invest in a company called Tricog then. Which was one of our first non-Japanese global investments. But anyway, so I said like, hey, 2018 January, I'm joining UTEC, and I'm going to contact you. And January, I still remember the date, January 4th, 2018 was my first day at UTEC. On the first day, I called Anand actually and said, no, okay, now I have joined UTEC, and yeah, let us talk more about the company story. That was the beginning, right, Anand? Yeah.
Absolutely. And just, Michael, to add on a nuance
Yes,
to
please. Yeah.
what Kiran said, I went in very reluctantly for this. They said there's a bunch of Japanese audience coming and it's mainly tech. And but the organizers said, I think I want to share a Bugworks story. And this is a great example for deep science, deep tech founders that you take every opportunity and go pitch everywhere, because your net has to be as wide and as deep as possible. And it's okay. I used to go for anything and everything. And I thought this is going to be another one like that. And then Kiran came up to me at the end of the thing. We started talking, we had a cup of coffee or something together. And end of December, this was. And then the first meeting I had in January of 2018, the very first meeting I had in January of 2018 was Kiran's call, where he said, I just want to share with you, I've accepted the offer. I've started with UTEC. And the journey started from there. So if that meeting I had not accepted the speaking slot, I wouldn't have met Kiran.
And in Feb 2018, our colleague Atsushi Usami, who also leads our life sciences investment, went along with me to India. It was probably Atsushi's first ever visit to India.
Wow, okay.
Definitely not the last. But then, of course, we partnered with Bugworks in 2018 mid. And since then, we have invested in every round of Bugworks for 4 or 5 times till now, right?
Right. And meeting Usami-san was honestly a turning point, right? To have a senior member of the group, Kiran, who had just joined them at that point in time, come over, and then the rest is history. I mean, honestly, Usami-san, Goji-san, the whole family that Kiran brought to the table, UTEC is investor partner, is family, as we call it. It's just incredible, and the level of collaboration that we have with them. So that's where it all started.
What especially excited you about UTEC then?
Okay, couple of things. One is, as I already told you guys, working with the Japanese, I've had a very good experience in my semiconductor days. A. B, I just saw how active and aggressive Kiran was. Aggressive in a very positive way, obviously, to where I knew they meant business. Number three, meeting Usami-san cemented it for me that, the senior management is also very focused into innovation, wants to invest in good companies, and also wants to do meaningful investment. What do you call impactful investments? Obviously, you need returns. That's primary. But there was also an interest impact. And I've sensed it that we could open up the Japanese ecosystem for what Bugworks is doing. So I never looked at UTEC as just, oh, they're going to put money in the company. To me, it was, oh, they're going to enable an opportunity for Bugworks. Big difference that UTEC is going to enable an opportunity in Japan and potentially other areas. And quite honestly, there were no other marquee life science investors willing to come and take the risk in India that UTEC was willing to take.
Yeah.
That to me
Thank you.
spoke a lot about the people and the philosophy.
There is a very other interesting Japan connection, right? So we talk about co-creation, which rarely happens, the academic connection between you and Japan. Dr. Satoshi Murakami of Tokyo Institute of Technology, now it's called Institute of Science Tokyo, and your collaboration with Dr. Murakami, and actually, in fact, you were using some of the work that he had done back in 2002 is when he probably published his landmark Nature paper. Nobody had done anything with it for 10, 12 years. And thanks to Bugworks, he was able to collaborate deeper with you and even have a new Nature publication, right? Would you talk about your relationship there?
Yeah, big game changer, right? And again, for the audience here, antimicrobial resistance, doing work in antibiotics is very complicated. And one of the key people in this space who have done some very exciting work in structural biology, looking at the structure of certain proteins in bacteria, is Professor Satoshi Murakami from IST. We had read his paper in 2002, and then after that, he had stopped that work and moved on into doing other equally important good work. Through UTEC, through Usami-san, through Kiran-san and others, we were able to gain access to Professor Satoshi Murakami, and we came to meet him, and that changed everything for us. He was so excited to meet the Bugworks team to say, wow, somebody read my 2002 paper and is thinking about designing some compounds, partially based on the work he did. And then he pretty much dusted off his work and said, I'm ready to restart it again. And I think maybe it was 2019 or 20
18,
when
19,
we really
yeah.
19, I would say, whether we really started work. And now it's been 6-7 years, and we're still working with Sensei Satoshi Murakami. We have had 2 major publications in Nature. And believe it or not, apart from antibacterial, he's also started doing work for us in anti-cancer, because his work in structural biology is so good. So this is a classic example. It's not an academic example of where UTEC, looking out for its portfolio company, and Usami-san, probably Kiran, did the real in-depth study to say, that work done by Satoshi Murakami could fit our portfolio company, and how beautifully it did.
Yeah, and Dr. Murakami is also very proactive and fairly entrepreneurial academic researcher. And I remember both of you came to our 15th year anniversary as well of UTEC back in 2019, I believe, or 2019.
19 or 20.
19, yeah.
He's amazing. Very hard to meet somebody like him.
So it's been what, 7.5 years since UTEC and Bugworks have been working together.
Yes.
Do you have any memorable experiences? Some tough, perhaps. The pandemic was pretty tough, including fundraising challenges and disruptions to global supply chain. We've had some memorable moments as well. The presentation we gave at World Health Organization, that was in 2018 or 19 as well. Any memorable sort of moments over the last 7.5 years, memorable in both the positive way and as well as some tough moments the company had gone through?
Yeah, and there are no negative moments. They're either, it's just tough. I like the word. See, positive-wise, I may have mentioned it before. The fact that we have voices in our board, like Usami-san and Kiran, to support, but ask the tough questions so that it keeps us honest and keeps us on our toes. That's very important. We're not looking for friendship here. We're looking for support and investor that keeps us honest. Kiran, there have been plenty of instances, particularly during COVID and post-COVID, when I really thought we would close the company because our products were stuck somewhere in China. They couldn't move to India. Then there was an India-China war for about 6 months, 5 to 6 months. So your product is stuck. So you've lost 1 plus 1.5 years on COVID. You lost another 6 months on Indo-China war.
Fundraising was tough.
Fundraising was super tough. And it was UTEC that brought other Japanese investors to the table, like Global Brain in Tokyo. Not just that, our other angel investors came back on the table once they knew UTEC was going to stay. So that's the beauty of having a strong mother anchor, if you will. It's not just the X million that we get from UTEC. It's the credibility and the syndication that UTEC was able to pull for us. Twice at least, maybe 2.5 times. You were able to pull maybe almost 3 times, definitely 3 times the syndication for us. I think that's a huge positive. Number 2, every time we have come to Japan, I'll be very honest, no other investor has made us feel so good about ourselves as has UTEC. Well, I think it has been your 10th year anniversary, or 15th or 15th and 20th?
15th and 20th. 15th
Sorry,
and 20th.
My mistake. 15th and 20th. In both times, we were given platforms to meet some of your LPs, platforms to meet your other partners.
And you made a pitch in 20th year anniversary, I remember.
I made a pitch that I think
Very-
went really well because we had
Yeah,
very
went
good
really
feedback post the pitch. How does an organization like UTEC go out of the way, to truly believe in companies like us, we are in tough spaces. We are not in easy spaces. Without that, I don't think I myself as a CEO and my team would have the resolve of continuing to go there.
Right.
Two, on the tough thing, you particularly, Kiran, though you're so detail oriented. I think that comes also because of your experience in Japan.
In Japan, yeah, of course. Yeah.
You're so Indians are not detail oriented. We do
Usually.
great things macro. As usual,
Yeah.
we are not. But the Japanese are phenomenal, and you got that DNA being there for n number of years. Every time in the board meetings and regular monthly meetings, the number of meetings I've had with Kiran and Usami-san outside of the board meetings is too many to count. Too many. That keeps us really focused. When we have tough times or good times, I always reach out to UTEC. So I think it is the tough
even now,
questions
right?
are good questions.
Even
Sorry,
now,
go ahead.
almost 7.5 years after our investment, there is some WhatsApp message exchange every other day
Yeah.
or one or the other
Very,
thing.
very active. And it has to do with,
It's very
I don't know
natural.
whether this is true. Yeah. I don't know whether it's true of all your portfolio companies. I don't know how you all interact with the other portfolio companies, but I speak for Bugworks. UTEC is the most actively engaged, proactive investor in our syndicate. And I would say that in front of anybody, and all our other investors know this because I'm very vocal about it.
Yeah,
Very vocal about it.
For ours too, we have to say all portfolio companies are equal in our eyes, but some are more equal than the others.
Right. So I think so. I think this has been exciting. I'm hoping, though, if you ask me, my last point in that question that you asked, Kiran, is I'm hoping that UTEC will continue to do well and have its, fund 5, 6, 7, etc., and is able to also do more in-depth funding for deep science. Because deep science, deep tech is going to require larger ticket sizes than maybe even you all had envisaged because the world has changed. So it's my hope that you'll be able to do deeper and longer dry powder investments.
Yeah, to that end, UTEC 4, the company the fund that invested in you roughly $225 million, but our new fund UTEC 6 is almost 100 million more than that, 326 million. So we are going through that. Just one thing which is often less talked about. So people refer to VCs as funders, investors, but you're probably the only one who refer to investors as our investor partners. So you really see us as a partner. One maybe a piece of advice for entrepreneurs: how can they build relationships with VCs, but also how can they get the best out of that relationship, right? Beyond money.
Beautiful. And I want to be very direct to, and I speak now not to you both, but to your audience here, is that whenever I sit with entrepreneurs and founders, the standard thinking is they start, saying, oh, my investors after me, man. Oh my God, I have a board meeting coming in, man. They don't understand how deep science works. They think tech and science are the same, etc., etc., etc. I actually don't believe in that style. I believe the moment you are transparent and you co-opt your investor and you treat them as a partner, you get the best out of the mutual relationship. Number one, because I know UTEC has gone way above what you would normally do to support companies like Bugworks, because I truly think you guys are our partners. And the word investor looks like it's only a financial transaction, whereas an investor partner is a far more broader, all-encompassing term. And I'd like to think of our relationship as an encompassing, all-encompassing. If you want the best out of your investor, particularly an investor that looks out for you like UTEC, you got to have an all-encompassing relationship with them that goes beyond investability. Yeah, the words matter. And internally also, I've stopped using the words like, oh, we did deal with this startup. No, we partnered with the company, right? It's not deal, it's not a game, and so on and so forth. Yes, beautiful. Looking into the future, you touched upon the go-to-globe strategy of Bugworks, but also it is true that for a deep science company, especially in the life sciences, it takes a lot of time to generate revenue. But you started talking to customers, business development, that is mainly pharmaceutical companies from day one, right? Yes. So can you update about that, building the technology and business hand in hand, and how fundamental it has been for the growth of Bugworks? Right. For any entrepreneur out there who's listening to this, particularly in deep science, deep tech, please do not decouple business development and sales from R&D development. Say, hey, don't trouble me. I'm in R&D. I'll come back after 3 years, 4 years, and then I will develop my channels. It doesn't work. That won't work. In the space, it won't work. In spaces that we are in, right? Tough spaces, semiconductors, satellite communication, agriculture, healthcare sciences. In my opinion, you need 5 years to develop relationships to big pharmaceutical companies or big manufacturing companies, so that when you are ready to do the deal, they know everything about you. And you've been so transparent, and they become part of your journey. So my style, our style as a company is in cancer as well as in infection. We have N number of business development contacts, particularly in infection. We have developing these contacts for the last 5-6 years to where we have become really like investor partner. Even though they haven't put $1 into a company, the relationship is developed. So that when the day a good inflection happens in my antibiotic or a good inflection happens in the cancer product, we are not then scrambling to say, let's go construct a business development thing.
Right.
The other good news of spending time, the CEO needs to do this, of spending time on developing a global BD, business development channel, is it also allows you to go back in and tune your roadmap.
Yeah, the feedback
Because
loop is very
the
important, right?
feedback loop cannot happen midstream or downstream. In my opinion,
Right.
the sooner you get slapped and you
Mm.
get humble and you say, you know what, let's build something that somebody wants, not what
Right.
I want.
Yeah.
Or what your scientists want, right? So that feedback loop has been very frustrating, to be honest, because my
That's
scientists
right.
get very irritated, saying,
Yeah.
hey, they're not doing a deal. Why are they giving me feedback? I say, no, this feedback now will make our product so robust. So there'll be 4 other people on the table 2 years from now, right?
Yeah.
Number one. Number two is I don't want to take umbrage. I don't want to hide under the fact that deep science has a 10-year thing. That's wrong. You have to create opportunities through grants, or you have to create opportunities like we did with the WHO to try
Right.
to get some sort of deal or revenue stream going before you do the big deal. Kiran, this is my honest
Right.
consideration. And I want to finish by saying that for us as a company looking forward, success is defined, I want to say, in 3 fronts. One is the day patients use our antibiotics and oncology products, that's huge success. Second is we want this platform to be recognized as a world-class drug discovery engine coming out of Asia, so that more UTECs will come and put money into more tricogs and more Bugworks. And third and most important, to me, the most important factor sitting as a CEO is I want to be able to give a healthy return to my stakeholders. Because you're doing good for the world, you're going to solve huge problems, you're going to help 8 billion humanity. But if your investors are not supported by you, you also have to support your investors and given them a decent return. How will they stay reinvested in deep science and
Right.
deep tech? So I think as innovators and as founders, we owe it to our stakeholders that we are responsible and do everything to give them a return. To me, that keeps me up in the night even more than my science challenges, because somebody believed in us in our 10-year journey. You got to do everything to make them successful. So these are the 3 ways I measure success, right? Touching
Right.
patients all over the world, creating a pipeline so more UTECs will put money into more Bugworks of the world. And third, which is the most important, last but not the least, is making sure that your stakeholders are sufficiently rewarded so they continue to invest in deep science.
Yeah, and you mentioned it's never too early to talk to customers. That's the
Never
key
too early to
lesson.
talk. Absolutely right, because it gives you feedback. It will irritate your team, and they're like, no,
Mhm.
I already have a product pipeline. Don't disturb me. Not true. We have made many changes to our antibacterial and certainly even to our anti-cancer pipeline based on BD feedback.
Right. We already touched upon the future of Bugworks and what is it that you want to do, build a generational company. It's invariable. We are in the era of artificial intelligence and machine learning and life sciences in general, healthcare as well, but life sciences specifically will probably and has probably been seeing good impact due to AI. How do you see AI and the sort of technologies having impact in the drug discovery, compression of discovery life cycles, developing new targets, or it could be not just AI, it could be emergence of GLP and other sort of platforms as well. So how do you see in general the next generation technologies impacting life sciences and Bugworks as well?
Great. I'd like your audience to know that this reminds me of 30 years ago when I was in semiconductor industry. We started using modeling simulation and moved away from doing transistor design by hand. And there was a lot of pushback and people said, no way that simulation and synthesis tools can take over what somebody did by hand. Today, 100% of semiconductors is done through automation and electronic design automation. Similar things will happen in drug discovery, slowly started happening. Drug discovery is tough because you're dealing with biology, you're dealing with unknown unknowns, which AI is not very good at handling. Unknown unknowns. You have to go through clinical trials, you have to fail, come back, make changes, go in there. It's just the nature of the beast. Having said that, Kiran, I feel that AI's biggest impact in the pharmaceutical industry will be in helping us make decisions. Decisions are too
I see.
expensive and
Efficiency.
too time drawn in life sciences. Saying, oh, let's wait 4 years till I get phase 2 data and take some decisions. Nah, right? So it's not just to generate molecules.
Right.
It's going to be in decision making, whether it is what targets to choose, what type of structured guided design methods I should use. How do I predict whether something that I'm working on is developable?
Right.
How do I predict that something I'm working on is going to have safety toxicity issue? How do I predict that my antibiotic will not have resistance developed quickly when it goes to the market? Some of these decisions, which we are not fully clueless, but we struggle with day to day.
Right.
AI will dramatically reduce attrition and cycle time in drug discovery. I don't come from a drug discovery industry, so I get pushed back by my own team and people in the drug discovery industry that say, no, drug discovery is not chip design. It's going to take 15 years. Not true. AI will reduce the attrition and cycle time. But you cannot just be a techie doing AI for biological sciences. AI has to be very tightly integrated with high quality biology, chemistry, clinical insights. It can never replace scientists. It can only give a multiplier, what I call a multiplier effect to this. So if, for example, I want to say this, we just saw an AI tool that generated in half an hour generated a structure of a protein. And somebody goes off and designs a full chemical class based on the structure, only to find that one atom was wrongly done. You're finished. You're entire. So you need smart medicinal chemists and biologists to guide and work with AI. AI will be the force multiplier, will not be the replacer.
Yeah, very well put. I think a lot of money is going into the generating new molecules, but what you are saying is it's a force multiplier. How can AI augment the capabilities of the scientists? So AI is not just artificial intelligence, but augmented intelligence.
Augmented intelligence,
well put.
exactly. I love that word because the biggest failures and money spent in life sciences is in clinical trials. What worked in preclinical is not working when it came to clinical. Can we get predictive science to bridge that gap? I think this is where you're going to see the biggest bang for the buck. But I must tell the audience, probably 70 to 75% of the companies that say we are AI for drug discovery are suboptimal and are blowing smoke. They need a lot more work to become solid.
Got it. Michael, maybe question? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's is there any messages to young scientists or researchers in Asia, or especially in Japan, India, Southeast Asia, who wants to take the entrepreneurial funds for the future?
Yes. One is, I hope they are guided by the likes of UTEC. Michael, they get a good supporting investor partner, not investor, investor partner. Like UTEC, it makes a big difference because people are so active. At least my experience with Kiran, Usami-san, and others.
Go to Globe, go to UTEC.
Go to Globe, go to UTEC. But for the entrepreneurs in your area, Michael, I say you got to get out of your comfort zone. And I want to be very, very honest because I worked in Japan. I've had many, many interactions with Japanese. There's a certain tendency, maybe cultural or otherwise, to stick within your comfort zone.
Asia in general, not just Japan.
Asia in general. No, I meant Asia Pac. Sorry. I meant Asia Pac, right? Asia Pac. I misspoke. It's Asia Pac, including India. So to be in life sciences, you have to think beyond boundaries, beyond borders, and get out of your comfort zone. And it'll be good if your senior management has someone who's not too deeply connected to the science, who's able to decouple herself or himself from the science and bring some reality checks also in that. This is very important. When I find life sciences or deep tech companies that are only founded by all technology people or all science people, sometimes that reality doesn't kick in.
Multidisciplinary team, yeah.
Multidisciplinary team that challenges each other and then synergizes. I'm out of my comfort zone completely.
Yeah.
And I ask all kinds of silly questions every day that my co-founders may be thinking he's asking like an ABC question. That's okay. Come out of your comfort zone, put a multidisciplinary team together and go to Globe, go to UTEC, as he said.
Great. Okay.
It's been a great, amazing conversation so far. And then thank you so
Bob.
much for sharing your exciting and insightful stories today and last time. From your personal career journey, the founding vision of Bugworks, and to your partnership with UTEC, and Kiran, even before UTEC. And, And finally, your vision to the future, for the future of science and entrepreneurship. Thank you very much. To our listeners, thank you for joining us. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow or subscribe and share it with anyone interested in intersection of science, technology, or entrepreneurship. We'll be back again soon with another inspiring conversation. Until then, thank you very much for listening.